Did your SNAP benefits run out? Then just eat beans. Poor people know how to eat beans, okay? What they don't know how to do is to remain healthy and alive when governments cause starvation through deliberate actions. And that's because, historically speaking, starvation is a political weapon. Always has been. I mean, take the one that all white folks know, right? Which is like the Irish potato famine. Blight spread throughout the main staple crop of the Irish, right? That's a natural disaster. And there weren't enough calories to go around. The British, who were colonizing Ireland at the time, had an obligation to help, but instead opportunistically saw a way to break down the Irish resistance to the occupation, right? Because people can't fight if they're too busy burying their own children. In this case, the British government was able to use natural disaster to brutally further its own aims, right? And that's what a decadent government that doesn't value democracy does. They find ways to use or manufacture crises so that they can take advantage. So let's take a look at this book by Alex de Waal, right? Mass Starvation, The History and Future of Famine. It proves that famine and starvation is always on purpose, right? Famine is a political tool. Hunger is a political tool. De Waal outlines a few ways that governments do this, right? Number one, as with the potato famine, they deliberately withhold food or aid in natural disasters, right? And those of us who live down here in the South, we know this in our bones because we have lived through hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, and we've all had governors who've refused to help even though some of us lost our home. Number two, right? They implement disastrous agricultural and economic politics that lead to widespread hunger. For example, if one wanted to starve the American people, one might destroy America's agriculture through introducing tariffs or importing cheaper agricultural products from abroad. Argentinian beef, perhaps, to compete with the products their farmers are producing. Number three, you might engineer false scarcity, right? When the government shut down, SNAP payments stopped, right? And that created panic for people who are living on the edge, paycheck to paycheck, because yes, most SNAP recipients who can work do, right? So then a judge ruled that this was illegal, but if no one is brave enough to enforce the judge's ruling, then no one gets fed. And number four, right? Failure to respond. The government will ignore or downplay food crises. Right now, we know that people who aren't getting SNAP are completely dependent on the rest of us to step up. Some cities and states are stepping in to fill the gap. Others are offering those thought-terminating cliches like, eat beans, lol, because they don't care, right? Because they support, either consciously or unconsciously, the government starving out poor people, and I am tired of giving them a pass, right? Send this to people who tell poor people to eat beans, you suck.